you ever heard of the story of Romeo and Juliet? Forbidden lovers. But what if I told you there was a love story much deeper than that? A story that transcends time.
Mike, I know what you're here for. The internet will never let us be together. Oh, Walter. Walter, I need you bad, Walter. Gus could never shake it like you could, Walter. I need you to touch every wrinkle on my senile body, Walter. With your pride and your ego, you're the only one who could shake it. Well, no shit, Mike. Every other guy that shakes his can makes a tepid, off-brand generic cola. When I throw it back, it's like classic Coke. Oh, Walter, you see, that's why I need it so bad, Walter. If only there was a way that we could be together, Walter. If only there was a way. Oh, Walter, I need you, Walter. Oh. Yeah. I don't really know where I was going with that one. No, I'm sure Breaking Bears doesn't have Walter White and Mike Ehrmantraut getting down and dirty like Romeo and Juliet being forbidden lovers, but it is a parody of Breaking Bad, and I wanted to check it out to see if it's good or bad. If you like content like this, like, subscribe, you know the drill. Let's take a look at Breaking Bears. Come here. Come a little closer. Is that you that stinks? Do you smell really bad? Oh, I think it's the show. Yeah, the show really just reeks. It fucking sucks. The show is not good at all. I'm only one episode in, and I could tell you that there's really nothing worth watching about it. It has the most lowbrow garbage humor. It doesn't even have a shock value to it. It is just the characters making the shittiest jokes that I've ever seen in a comedy. It is so wild, which is so odd. I mean, I know it's a Tubi original, so I can't be expecting that much, but they have Brendan Fraser, and I'm pretty sure Brendan Fraser isn't like, I'm not gonna be pinching pennies for this role. Don't you know I'm an Oscar winner? And he's sitting there and he's like, oh, I was really fat in this one movie and I won an Oscar because I love my daughter. I actually like The Whale a lot. That he did deserve an Oscar for that role. It was really good. But irregardless, Brendan Fraser, pretty popular actor. They probably had to pay him a pretty penny to be in this. So, did they just forget to pay the writers, or did they just walk into an alley and just be all like, hey there, I noticed you were sitting in this alley with your shirt off, and well, I couldn't help but notice. Are you smoking meth? Well, let me tell you something. I watched Breaking Bad like the first 2 episodes. I watched the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, and let me tell you a little something. I noticed you're smoking meth, which probably means you're qualified to write a show about bears who do meth. Come with me. And they just grabbed him, pulled him away, and he's now the lead writer for the show. Because there's just no redeeming qualities. It genuinely has one of the worst openings, worst introductions to a show that I've ever seen, where we're focusing on basically a parody of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. They're cooking up, and instead of Mr. White, we're making meth, it sounds like an off-brand Shaggy, like, oh, zoinks, we're making that good crystal, yo, zoinks. What are you doing? What are you doing, mister? Why are you undressing in front of me, bro? Why are you getting undressed, dude? What's going on?
Dude, you are in your underwear in front of another guy.
And
Because that usually only happens if you're planning on going swimming.
Because the dude takes off his pants, and then for the next 2 minutes, this little fucking dude is just sitting there going, you know, you really shouldn't undress in front of me, bro. Like, we got workplace standards, dude. Like, are you going swimming or are you getting naked? Like, I have to know, dude. Like, you really shouldn't undress in front of me, bro. It's just weird. I shit you not, they do that for like 2 minutes. That's all they talk about. And then the older guy, he jumps into the water, and that is when he is like, oh, it's cold. And we get the first, like, genuine joke, the genuine, like, writing piece that somebody had to tell this guy to say in order to get a big old laugh. And it's just, oh, man, geez, that water was colder than a hand job from my uncle.
water's colder than my uncle's hand jobs. Ugh.
I wasn't expecting such heat from the first joke that they actually decided to tell, other than, why are you undressing in front of me, bro? That's kind of weird, kind of odd. And then they hear rummaging in their RV, and there's 2 bears that take their meth, so they start chasing them, and one of the dude looks up and starts shooting his gun, and that is when we cut to the intro. And after the illustrious intro is done playing, I am greeted with the bear named Jur waking up from hibernation. Well, kind of waking up, I'm greeted with the sounds of,
Oh yeah, take it really good, human. Oh!
Oh, okay. And we zoom in on him, and he's just going to town in his bed, getting down and dirty, humping away. And he wakes up, and I'm not going to show it in the video, but he's got a massive raging boner. It's just stretching out for the heavens. And just like any man would want to see a bear do, he just grabs it and starts slapping it around like, what do you say, boo-boo? I'm harder than the average bear. Really? This is what we're doing? Like, that shit got me to laugh, not because it was a funny joke, but it was just like, wow. It genuinely sounds like it was written by an AI. It's like, AI prompt, I'm not capable of thinking of my own comedy. Can you please help me? What is something a really erect bear would say? Well, according to my databases, Yogi Bear says he's smarter than the average bear. What if he says, I'm harder than the average bear, as he slaps and beats his cock? Well, this is the best we can do, and it doesn't even stop there. Like, he's just talking to his penis for like another minute after that, and then he goes to sit down, and he just starts horking his pork, just jerking his hog. And then his little brother and Blair, I don't know if they're all siblings, I wasn't quite clear on that. It doesn't seem like any of them are romantically involved. They walk out, and it just shows him splooging on the young bear, and it hits his face, and apparently he had a Twinkie in his mouth, so it's the Twinkie and it's not the splooge. But either way, I don't care. I don't like it. Genuinely. All I've gotten comedy-wise this entire show so far, and just what I've described, is a dude going, dude, why are you undressing in front of me? And then a horribly timed joke of, this water is colder than my uncle's hand jobs. Oh, still gets me excited. And then a bear waking up from hibernation and just slapping his pig, just slapping it harder than the average bear, and then jorking it. That's all I've gotten so far. You know, this show has such an interesting premise of the idea of we're losing our land because of fracking. The people don't want us around anymore. So let's take bears and have them cook crystal meth and try to sell it to get their forest back. And then you just put everything in between with just some of the worst comedy of all time. It is so hard to watch. So all three of the bears, they start going around looking for food, and they can't find any because of the human intervention with fracking. They break into a house and try to eat all this yummy, delicious food, and that's when the park rangers show up, and they just start beating the hell out of them, just getting down and dirty, just beating that bear. They try to run away from the park rangers, and this just felt so unnecessary because it's not like it's slapstick, it's not like it's funny, it was just kind of there. Jur, the bear, he grabs a skunk, and I can't show you this one again because of course the animators had to be all like, well, you know, we're showing a skunk, so we have to, you know, show that detail on that skunk hole, that little skunk asshole. We gotta make sure that the viewer can see it right with his big old eyes. So yeah, just staring at a skunk gland, and the skunk gets brutally murdered, gets shot by a gun, and its corpse just blasts everywhere, so the skunk just dies for no reason, and the entire joke of that scene is, haha, look at the dead skunk.
Oh shit.
No puns or anything, no, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna be stinking till hibernation. You know, they couldn't even say something like that, like something really awful. No, the skunk just dies, just dead, and then another park ranger is attacking the little bear and Blair walks up and is like, "Gah!" and then proceeds to throw up disgustingly all over the female park ranger.
Wait.
What?
And that just brings me to my next point. The animation doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. It's better than anything an AI could produce. I will always stand by that. I think it's great that they're at least trying, but it doesn't stand out in any way of being unique. It just feels like I'm watching a Family Guy ripoff that somehow looks even worse than just regular Family Guy. It is not good, so I'm watching this bear just everywhere, all over this female park ranger, and then they get attacked and violated once again, and they all get knocked out and placed into this truck. They're getting evac'd. They're getting relocated to a different part of the forest, far away from all of the humans. Okay, where are we gonna go with this? Are we gonna do something a little bit funny now because they're in the dark and desolate part of the forest? Will there be something more entertaining? Well, we meet the wolves. They drop them off in the wolf part of the forest, and the park rangers are still standing there, and that's when we see the wolf queen. And I gotta tell ya, okay, when designing the wolf queen, they went like this. All right, here's the head, here's her neck, and then we got some big old bazungas, and then here's her hips, Ooh, we got a skinny little waist, big old hips, and big old thighs, and a big old ass. Because I guarantee you, they put no effort in making her an interesting or funny character. I mean, she's the goddamn wolf queen. They were just like, man, you know what'll get people to watch? You want to get people to watch our show? If we make her thick and attractive, I want to get that one guy that sits in the corner of a room to see the show, and then he goes home, he rushes, and he's like, he pushes away that like picture frame of that Luna girl from Hell of a Boss or whatever that everybody freaks out over. He places the wolf queen down on his dresser, a big old poster of her, lights a candle, and he's like, wolf queen, come to life. Please, please be mine. Your birthing hips, oh, they are so perfect for the human reproduction desires. My queen, please be real. That's just what I thought immediately when I saw her. She said nothing funny, nothing interesting. It's just literally her design is, let's make her have bigger babushkas and a bigger ass than any human being ever has, and let's send her on our merry way to get some gooners to watch the show. That's really how it made me feel. And then, just a cherry on cake of that, we have the Wolf Queen's son. The Wolf Queen's son runs over and sees the park rangers and immediately runs up and is like, oh, is this a cock? Oh, yeah.
What are you gonna do about what the fuck?
Mom, come here and smell.
Mummy's busy, and stay away from that nice man's pleated khakis.
Penis. Oh, let me walk over to the female. Oh, female cooter smells so interesting.
Yeah, that goes on for like a solid minute of him just switching and swapping between smelling each or, and that's the joke. That's the joke. I don't know. I don't know. Is this funny to you guys? I would love for you guys to go and watch Breaking Bear. You probably don't think it's as bad as I do, maybe, but it's really bothering me how there hasn't been a single actual well-timed joke for it in a comedic spot. Instead, it's just, let's have the young wolf boy run over to the humans and get a big old whiff of that cock. Yes. Yes. And there's a lot of things that I can't show because I'm kind of worried about demonetization, but that's just because the show relies purely on gross out humor and nothing else to be even remotely interesting. It's just a gosh dang shame. So the bears then go up on this hill and they stumble upon this RV where they see a teacher and a student cooking meth, and this all relates back to the beginning of the episode. The only difference here is we get to see what happens when they go inside. When they go inside the RV, and Jur, he sees an ad on the TV where there's this white woman talking about how ancient tribes would eat humans, and then all of a sudden Jur has a desire to eat humans. That's what he wants to do really, really bad. And then Alistair, the younger bear, he does meth and proceeds to have some of the worst frames I have ever seen, like ones where he just pops up and just starts twerking his ass violently at the screen, just shaking his can.
Oh my god! Everything makes perfect sense now!
And then, like, jitters and joinks everywhere, and then wants more meth, so they run away with more meth. And then, God, it's all so dumb. He climbs in a tree, jumps off the tree, lands on the Zoinks dude, that guy from the beginning who had problems with people taking off his clothes. He lands on him, and then Jur bites his arm off, and he gets shot in the head. Not Jur, the human dude, and he dies. And then they talk to the like Walter White parody guy about how sometimes you have to break the law in order to save the forest, so they're gonna team up. And that's the continuation of the show. And it ends with Jur just violently eating the remains of the "you're undressing in front of me" guy. And that's it. Wowee. You know, it's genuinely crazy. I mean, it obviously doesn't top like a mating season for me in terms of bad, or a Big Mouth, but it's just crazy how people can still make shows like this. And for who? For what audience? Like, genuinely. Well, like if you love this show, if you found it so funny, you're probably the type of person who's like, dude, I just turned off my brain. And let me tell you, bro, when the bear was like waking up and just started slapping his penis, it was so funny, bro. It was so great. Like, I don't know. There's just nothing good about it to me. There's no jokes being set up. The shock humor wasn't even that unbelievably crazy that it turned out to be funny. It was just like, I don't know, humor made for a 12-year-old, and if that's what they're going for, that's what they're going for. I just think with the concept that they had, this could have been a lot better, but so far, I'm giving it a solid 3 out of 10. Yay! I would love to sit down with the creator of this show and just have a little bit of a conversation with him, because after watching that first episode, I was like, okay, that was really bad, but that's the quality of the show. It can't possibly get that much worse. But then he went up to bat for the second episode, and he knocked it out of the goddamn park all the way to make an even worse experience, so much so that the show is definitely getting into my top 10 worst shows of all time. I cannot believe that the entire first 6 minutes are all about Jur slurping on some penis. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. I can't show you it because they go into so much detail, but it's literally the entire beginning of episode 2 is a follow-up to immediately what happened in the past episode where he was eating the human's corpse, but he didn't get down to the lower half. And the creators were like, well, you know, what could we do for our comedy for the second episode? Well, he likes to eat humans, but when you gotta eat a human, you eventually gotta eat the cock. So, boys, let's make sure to make that the main focus for this episode, with Jur unzipping his pants, grabbing it, and it's like, you know, it's blurred in a sense, but I could still see it wiggling. I could still see the snake slithering in the grass, if you know what I mean. I could basically see exactly what it is, and I'm watching the bear just shake it around and then just... Woo! Yes! Thank you so much! Do you think, like, when he pitched this, there was, like, one person sitting there like, oh no, bro, I really don't think we should do this. I don't think anybody's gonna find that funny. I mean, it's just porn. You're basically a gore porn. It's literally just a bear slurping down some human dick. And then they, like, grabbed him and just started, you don't know what comedy is. Just started beating the ever-living shit out of him because he even dared to say that this wasn't funny. Because following that up, you know, they were all like, you know what's even funnier than slurping down penis? Gargling on some balls. Because he grabs the dude's balls and just drops them in. And you would think he would be cracking some good jokes here. No, he's just like, reasonably, I should have eaten his balls first. I'm having such a wonderful time. I feel like I'm finally right where I'm supposed to be, in a forest for you and for me, where I could watch the clock pass as I stare at a bear eating ass. And don't forget, when he slurps the penis, I'm gonna feel like I'm on Venus. When he grabs the balls, I'm hoping it's fall, 'cause that's when I feel at peace. That's how they expected every viewer to feel after getting a taste of all of that. I'm talking about it for a while, but I just want you to feel what I felt. This was the entire first 6 minutes. of the episode. 6 minutes were about his ball eating shenanigans, and they just kept going with it. They go into the RV after the ball eating, the penis eating is done. They've done with it. He's like, I can't try the meth. They make like a special meth. It's like honey nut meth, and he's like, I can't try it. You know, I wouldn't want to my cock and ball mouth to interfere with the taste.
Right. I do it, but I think the lingering aftertaste of cock and balls in my mouth right now might be messing with my sophisticated palate.
The lingering aftertaste of cock and balls in my mouth.
Oh boy, that was great. Can't have it messing with my palate, you know, because I need that sweet succulent taste of balls. So finally that's over, and we get some more insight into the life of the teacher, who is the Walter White parody, and why he is doing this. Apparently the school is losing funding, and they just make like a bunch of jokes about anti-vax, which would have been way better if they just wrote the jokes better. They just did like the most shittiest way of going about it, to where the big school principal walks up and he's like, no, we will not have vaccines in this school. We are anti-vax. Everybody get together and have a French kissing party. Oh yeah. So he grabs all the like literal elementary school or middle school students and forces them all to kiss. I'm not exaggerating. And then they all get polio and they're all paralyzed. I guess it's funny because, you know, not wanting to be vaccinated is dumb. Because, you know, it's like, oh man, God, it's gonna turn me into an autistic guy. There's no benefits of being vaccinated. Oh no. You know, yeah, go back to when we used to live to be fucking 21 years old and then you just drop down dead. Like, they could have done so many more jokes with it too. Like, they could have done so much better than it, but they just decided to have children kiss. What is the benefit? I don't get it. So that happens, and he wants to get money to save the musical, because in order to make the school wheelchair accessible, they have to cut the musical program, and that's his main like thing. So in order to do that, and in order to sell all the meth, they have to go around and find hookers like a shiny Pokemon. And how do they do that? Well, encountering them in their natural habitat. It's like we're walking in the tall grass here, and there's just a hooker just you know, just slurping on it, and I just have to sit there and watch her doing it. And that's the comedy. The comedy is that a woman is sucking penis. Really? Like, you just can't make it up. You just can't make it up. Like, genuinely, like for the pitch meeting, they had to sit there and be all like, you know what's funny? You know what's really funny to me? I think it's funny when a woman sucks penis. I think that's so funny. Like, and then we can draw the man. We could draw the man going, oh, that feels so good. Oh, and busting.
Hang on! She's going as fast as she can.
Like that's what they all had to discuss and say that that's what they wanted to do for the episode. And they talk to her, they get her nice and hooked on the deal, and so they go around and it's just a bunch of other women getting down and dirty. Like they're all just hooking it up, to say the least, because they're hookers and they're hooking it up, prostituting it left and right, woo-wee. And that's the jokes, that's the comedy. It's just them having sex. And it's so stupid. It's so unbelievably dumb. So they get them all, and they're all using them to sell all of the product and whatnot, and they do it, and that's when the neo-Nazis get wind of this, and they don't like that one bit, so they knock out the bears and the teacher and take the bears and lock them in a cage. And then we get, again, like, you could come up with any joke that is better, any joke other than just typing into an AI, what do neo-Nazis like? What do they dislike? Neo-Nazis don't like black people. Neo-Nazis like being white. That is literally what they are saying. They're like, we like sugar because it's white. We like white things. You know what we don't like? Black people. You know what we don't like? Mexican people.
I'm scared of Jews, especially Jewish bankers.
Really? Wow, we're really coming all together with the jokes here, with the comedy here. We are using all of our prefrontal cortex here for this. We are going all the way with this. I can't fathom it. It's pretty fucking baffling what they are doing here, like, genuinely. It's just, I can't believe it. I just can't believe how stupid it is. So they are talking, and then they give the little bear some meth, which makes him freak out, and he breaks out, and they start fighting. And then, of course, Juror walks over, and he still has a taste for it, so he asks one of the neo-Nazis whether or not he's circumcised, then proceeds to grab him, pulls down his pants, looks at it, gets a big old look, and he's like, hoo-hoo-hoo! He's uncircumcised! And eats his penis.
He's uncircumcised!
And balls. And they die, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. That's really all I had to talk about there. So, first 6 minutes was all about Juror's love for slurping that dick, and then it's followed up by little children French kissing because it's funny for them to get polio, and that's the joke, and then followed up by hookers having sexual relations and just watching it happen. No jokes, just a good old-fashioned, that's all there is to it. Followed up by them sitting in a cage listening to neo-Nazis talk about how they like being white and they hate black people. Brilliant. Truly something I never could have foreseen in my entire life. Followed up by Juror once again slurping down that stinky dick. Now, I just want to ask you, do you think this sounds like a good show? Obviously, from my reviews, I'm more of the focus, not necessarily the show. I try to make it more about me than about the show, because I'm trying to get you to laugh, trying to make your day better. But have all the things that I've said about the show really made you lean to the whole idea that, gee whiz, man, that sounds funny, I gotta watch it? Now you're probably thinking, wow, this sounds absolutely like hell, like a demonic hellspawn has befallen upon the earth. I need to check it out because it's so bad. And go for it, it's free. You can watch it for free. I'm pretty sure you can watch it for free right now, and you can tell me how awful it is. And I'll be sitting there ear wide, ready for, all of my feelings to just be vindicated, because I genuinely don't think anybody could enjoy this. If you do, good on ya. Could never be me. Either way, that's gonna do it for this video. There's only 2 episodes out right now. If this video, we'll shoot for the stars for this one, because I really don't want to watch more of the show. But if this video gets 1,000 likes, I usually never even shoot for like 700, but 1,000 likes, I will check out even more of this garbage waste of a time show. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Hope I made you laugh. That's always the goal. If I'm being loud, doing impressions, cracking my own jokes, doing my own hypotheticals, it's all to make you laugh. That's always the main goal there. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.